Hey, thanks for checking out the video. If you all like it, please like and subscribe, and hope you all enjoy it. Have a great rest of the day. Oh, hey y'all, just checking in here at the James K. Polk site for another episode of learning about the James K. Polk site and also the family and stuff here. Anyways, so to kind of start off, if you look at some of the previous videos that I've made on the Polks and stuff and their little homestead, this is actually where they lived for a time when James was born, and some of the kids and stuff. This is kind of where they were at. But anyways, for the time being, you can look up some of the stuff like this is the main house here in front of us, and this is the kitchen cabin, the cooking cabin, to say the least. To kind of start, I'll be doing a video today on the cooking cabin or kitchen cabin. But anyways, so the building you see here actually is the kitchen cooking cabin. Typically cooking was often done away from the main house, which is right there. That's the main house. It was typically done away from the main house, you know, and all that stuff. But of course, for those that couldn't afford to make an external house or a place to do it with cover, obviously they had to do it within their little main cabin or main house. But for those that could afford it, had a external cabin, or a little kitchen cabin of sorts, to do so. And for the reason behind that is because of how often, and considering how much cooking was usually done, you know, it just made things a lot easier and less hectic in one area. Anyways, this particular cooking cabin is a reconstruction of what may have been on the James K. Polk site. Originally, this is not an original house or original building, but originally it was called the Billy Ray House. Most of the material came from the original cooking cabin of the Billy Ray House, and whatever material that wasn't salvaged was replaced from other buildings from around the area. Anyway, the materials that were ultimately used from the house, or from this house, included any of the salvageable paneling, flooring, mantle, stairway, rails and treads and doors, windows, logs, rafters, and bricks. Some of the materials that were used also came from some of the other buildings, the old buildings and stuff in the area, for whatever wasn't used, or whatever they could use. They used from other places as well as needed. Generally, cooking cabins would not have been as well decorated, as nicely built as this, you know, as to the standard of the house, you know, the main house. So, you know, the cooking cabin would have been built to a lower standard, because obviously these cooking cabins obviously ran the risk of catching on fire, or whatever the case may be. You know, they had a very, very high risk of catching on fire. So that was pretty much the reason why they had an external building or whatever. And of course, it's not likely that the family lived in the kitchen anyways. But so they obviously lived in that building right there, the main house. Now, of course, the fireplace inside the cooking cabin is clearly bigger than that of being in the house. For that reason is because they did a lot of the cooking in the cooking cabin, and you know, these chimneys were for cooking. The ones in the house were made for keeping it warm and all that sorts, you know, and cooking purposes versus heating purposes. Anyways, let's get to the cooking and get inside for a minute and look at some of the cool stuff inside this wonderful house, but we'll get that started in just a second. So this is
a thicker, a little bit coarser than bricks.
So this is the inside of the house right here. This is the representation. There's also an upstairs there. They're not currently allowing anyone to go up there right now, but I've got some good old cabinets right here for cooking. And then of course we have a good old fire going right over here, and some good old cooking stuff here.
Okay. Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh dear. This is the good old fire right here. And interesting fact, you see this short chair right here. This one's really low to the ground, was actually used for people who were tending the fire right there. I recently learned about that. So this would have been used during that time. And this right here is for making toast. Cool little thing there. And then got some little S hooks for lifting up the pots and pans. They would have used the wider end here as opposed to that end for lifting pots and pans out of the fireplace, as it offered a more stable lifting thing, as they say. Nice little antlers there. But anywho, cool little setup. That's for getting water out of the pans and stuff. And, cool little jazz. This is the back of the house over here. Cool little fireplace here. Oh, and by the way, something kind of interesting before I go inside. This is actually where they would have had a garden right here. As you can see, they have a few little things going now, but hoping that they will end up adding some more at a later time for those that have an interest in that sort of thing. But anyways, this is the James K. Polk site here, and hope that you enjoyed the video. We'll be having some other videos uploaded too on some of the cooking that we're doing.